Oh, well then, Blunty, from a successful company to a not a successful company, it's time to talk about Flight One.
It's true. It is time to talk about Flightone. And our most recent story comes about because there was a new post on the Rotor Riot group by Alexander, who has posted there before. We've shown posts from. And Alexander is maybe we didn't make it super clear last time, but Alexander does own, he's a dealer. He owns a company who sells flight controllers. And, we also did make it clear that his order that he's missing is for 200 flight controllers.
So we finally have a dealer. We tried to get dealers or anybody to go on record and say they had orders in and had not received them, and no one would go on record. But now we have someone who has publicly stated a dealer with 200 flight controllers ordered who has not received them.
And he's been trying to get them for a long time. And basically he is really frustrated with this whole situation. He contacted, this all came about because he contacted a lawyer in France, and they did some research into the company. And the company shows up when you look it up on the internet. The company does show up as dissolved. So we've got links to that stuff in the show notes, just so you guys could look it up to see like what they're quoting and what they're talking about, maybe why they're saying the things they're saying, that sort of thing. Right. So here you can see Code Orange.
Yeah.
Code Orange is the company that Flightone is run under. It's their Code Orange Inc. DBA Flightone. If you scroll down, you can see the Flightone. There's a Flightone copyright trademark there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so anyway,
I want to point out here that this is one of the things that people are asking people, because I got multiple emails saying, "Is Flightone bankrupt?" And we teased that. We teased that in the title as well. Oh, did I update the title? I don't think I did. Oops. But we teased it in the intro. I want to be very clear that there is no indication that Flightone is bankrupt. Flightone is not bankrupt. Yeah. What has happened is that the corporation that Flightone operated as has been dissolved by the state, right?
Yes.
What do we know about that?
Yeah, so that's not as bad as it sounds. So basically, you can be dissolved for a variety of reasons. You get an involuntary, you can be involuntary dissolved, an involuntary dissolution for a variety of reasons. But as you can see here, there's an annual report that's due every year. And the annual report is one of the reasons why they will dissolve you if you don't file your annual report on time. So you can see the past years, the annual report was just barely on time. They received intent notices prior to that, but they were able to receive it on time. And basically now they didn't receive it on time, so they have filed a notice. However, all they have to do to undissolve the company, within the next 5 years, they can file their annual report. They look up the laws in Montana. So also, this doesn't indicate whether we know he's operating some other company. There's a lot of different pieces here that aren't visible online from public record searches. So from what we can see, the reason this is dissolved is a failure to file paperwork. That paperwork is not filed by Flightone, it's filed by an RA, a registered agent. So it is possible the registered agent just dropped the ball. There was some issue with the registered agent, whatever.
In the past, there were multiple notices of intent to dissolve in the public record. So it just looks like they were always sort of on the edge of late or slightly late filing their annual report. And then finally they didn't file one and the state went, okay, you're done. But this does not really, honestly, this doesn't even indicate anything unusual about the state of the company based on the fact that there were previous intent to dissolve.
Like
it just seems like,
it seems like the fact of the situation is it's been late. This annual report is currently 28 days later than the latest date we've seen on their records previously, and that's indicated a involuntary dissolution. So we don't know how that'll work out or any of that stuff or what will come of that. However, we do have responses from Preston that we feel we should show.
Now, I should say, we didn't ask Preston for a statement. Now, oftentimes we would have asked the relevant person for a statement before doing this story. He made public statements in response, so I felt like he had already replied rather than ask. And he also blocked you on Facebook, which suggests to me he doesn't want to talk to us.
That's true. He definitely doesn't want to talk to me.
Okay, so here was his public statement, though. Go ahead.
All right. So his public statement, he made a snarky little comment. Like, basically, he just wanted to let us know that, we're not going anywhere. But he kind of clarifies that by saying, this marks the end of a bad year for our company, which no kidding. We've talked about that previously.
Yeah, you haven't shipped product. You have back orders from November of 2020. I'd say that's a bad year for your customers. But tell me more about how tough the year was for you.
Yeah. So he says we have some new prototypes of the new design left over. And in the spirit of the Christmas season, I like to give some out. So all these people with backorder flight controllers, you're not getting these. They're going to be a giveaway. And if you comment on the thread, you make a positive comment on the thread, and he will pick a comment and then give away.
Give some prototypes of this new thing that's coming. Okay. Sure. What else?
And then the last post, do the last one, because that's the one. Yeah. So this is the most recent one he made, just as an update. We want to be fair and show everything he said about it. So he did also say, I hope everyone had a great holiday. We'll go through my messages this week and randomly select some people to receive those new prototypes. Anyone who does has an order in place with an ESC will receive the ESC as well. Okay, so you're delivering them the product they asked for.
They're delivering them a prototype of a new product that no one has gotten yet.
Who has an order in place with an ESC will receive the ESC as well.
Oh, I see.
He's going to give you the ESC you ordered if you get the prototype.
Okay.
And then he's hopefully giving everybody enough.
Everybody stay safe. It's so nice how when the pressure is on, this is what I love to see from a CEO. When the pressure is on, you have back orders from over a year ago. Your customers are up in arms. Your dealers are saying, you have thousands of dollars in our money and you're not shipping product. That is when the CEO decides to make sure that everyone is having a great holiday with their families. They're staying safe. COVID is out. We need to not talk about any of the actual issues that pertain to the company and stop being so mean and negative.
And don't forget, you can still back order an H7 right now if you'd like to go back order an H7 on their website. So
no, shut up. Hang on a second. Products, flight controllers, Lightning H7. Buy now. Color, surprise me, first available. That's fine. Add to cart.
Available on back order, no date. You see how there's no date there?
It's available on back order. Oh, it's on back order. Has been added to cart. Hang on. PayPal. You know what? I'm going to use PayPal Pay Later. Because I feel like if you're going to ship the product later, I should also pay later. Let's see if I can place this order. Yeah, it's going to take a second. Let's go. I'll put the camera back on you while I see if I can place this order, Blunty.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's one more thing, Blunty, actually. There's one more thing that we want people to know about, isn't there? That new Facebook group.
Yes. So we also wanted to shout out, because Alexander has been, communicating a little bit, and he did push this initiative. So I figured we would get the word out a little bit. If you are missing Flightone hardware and Preston will not answer you or is giving you the runaround forever, we have a link for a community, or you can search on Facebook, the FL1 Claim Community. And Alexander would like to collect your information and get everybody together so they can see how much is actually missing.
I apologize for interrupting you again, Blunty. I'm so excited. I'm just fired up. I don't think we said it clearly. Alexander has filed a complaint against Flightone in the European Union with some kind of, I don't know, entity, some government entity or something. So he's gathering information to take to them and complain about Flightone in the EU, which actually has strong consumer protections, unlike the USA. So yeah, give him the info he needs, and who knows what'll happen. But how about here we go. I can right now spend $59.95 to place this order. I am not going to. Should I? I mean, then I would have an order.
You're not going. I mean, sure, but you're just throwing money down the drain.
I could file a PayPal dispute and try and get my money back.
That's true, but the problem is he's going to. So this is to explain the story. Basically, what happens is you'll communicate with Preston. Preston will go, "Don't worry, I'll get you something in the next week." Maybe he'll give you a Falco X license, and then your PayPal dispute time will run out. So you no longer have the ability to dispute on PayPal.
Right.
And then he says, "I can't refund you because PayPal's ended."
Which is, by the way, which is bullshit. Yeah. You can send money to anybody. You will lose the transaction fees, but screw you. That's cost of doing business. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So to sum up, Flightone is not bankrupt. As far as we know, they are not out of business. They are not shipping product. But no one should give them any money. Everyone who has an outstanding order should join this Facebook group made by Alexander Salem and give him your information because he's filing a complaint in the European Union. And there's some corporate BS going on where their company was dissolved in Montana, but that really doesn't probably have anything to do with anything.
Likely doesn't mean much. Yeah, at least we can't tell you the implications that has because he can get it reinstated. So.
Okay. How do you take people's money for over a year and not send them product?
I don't know.
How is this not fraud?
The biggest concern I have here, and I know people have gotten mad that we're upset. Somehow there are still people defending Flightone, and I hear from them a lot, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry about that. I wish they would block you.
Yeah, I blocked quite a few of them recently. But unfortunately, the issue here is not that there are back orders. It's that there are back orders under the pretense that the word back order is on the screen with no other indication or information. And when you try to get a refund or get some solution for your product or find out when it will come, none of that happens. It's not the fact that these are on back order. It's not the fact that there's a chip shortage. It's not the fact that whatever is whatever. It's the fact that those things are happening and the company does not support any of those customers.
I mean, I agree that is the most egregious thing that's happening. I would say that if you have back orders from, and this is straight from Preston, I'm not making this up. I asked him, if you have back orders from November 2020 and it's currently almost January 2022, that is a problem. You should not be taking back orders. And for everybody who said you should not be taking any more back orders, you definitely should be refunding all those customers, probably proactively. But of course they can't do that. No company could do that. They're going to just keep scrounging and hope they could make it good somehow. But at this point, they shouldn't be taking freaking orders.
I definitely agree.
They shouldn't be taking orders for Lightning H7 until they've fulfilled their back orders. And also, I will say this because we're ranting now. It's the last segment of the show. Oh, there's a component shortage. Hey, you know what? Everyone in the entire world is being affected by the component shortage. Diatone, still shipping flight controllers. Maytech, iFlight, everybody's shipping flight controllers. Prices may have gone up. Yeah. Maybe you got a different barometer or a different chip, a different MCU. Everybody is still, you're the only one who hasn't shipped a flight controller and has back orders from November 2020. So don't tell me it's because of the component shortage, because everybody else got hit by the same component shortage, and you're the only one who seems to actually just not be able to ship any product. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Dominic Clifton says he could make some Lightning H7s here in Spain. He apparently did the original design for the Lightning H7 and has all the parts. Hey, Dominic, I mean... If Dominic Clifton could make Lightning H7s in Spain, then why can't Preston make Lightning H7s to fulfill his back orders? Dominic has all the parts. Preston, buy the parts from Dominic!
Very true. He'll give you a very reasonable rate. Don't worry.
I assume, now I assume, which is a legally binding get out of jail card, to prevent any accusations of defamation. I assume that all that money is gone, right?
Yeah.
It's been if you gave me $50,000 in orders to make flight controllers, and for whatever reason, a year later, I hadn't shipped them, I probably don't have your $50,000 anymore. I don't know where it went, but I spent it on web hosting. Maybe I paid my mortgage with it, but a year later, and I haven't shipped one piece of product. It's not like I put that money in the bank and was like, this'll be here when I need it. And even if it is there, all of the components that I need to make the flight controllers to fulfill the orders are twice as expensive. So now I can't build the flight controllers with that money anymore. All right. Chad is guessing about what Preston did with the money. Some people said he bought more monitors. Some people said he spent it on hair gel.
also, I feel like it's fair to point out that like I got really ranty like a year ago. I don't know, it's a long time ago, maybe 6 months ago, when the leak happened and we saw that their code was also bullshit and all their AI filtering was also bullshit and all the other stuff they said was also bullshit. And they made fun of notch filtering and they had notch filtering.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
So like, don't forget that this is the same group of people who got on a video and lied to you for an hour that you can easily Google
about notch
AI
filtering
Flight 1 and you can see an hour full of lies that's confirmed by the leaks that happened. This is the same people, so there's nothing's changed. That's all I'm going to say. It's clear that nothing's changed.
I told Issa about this situation, and she said it's a pyramid scheme. And I was like, "What do you mean it's a pyramid scheme?" And she said, "Well, look, they took the money in January 2020 to build flight controllers. Now components are 2 or 3 or 5 times as expensive, so they need to bring in more money to be able to build the flight controllers to fulfill the past orders." But they won't be able to build the flight controllers to fulfill these orders. She was like, that's a pyramid scheme.
The problem is they don't have the hook, right? Because every pyramid scheme's got to have a quick way to get you in. And what's the quick way to get you into Flight 1 so they can keep making more and more money to pay for the backside?
I would like to also be very clear that a pyramid scheme is a legally defined thing and that Flight 1 is not actually a pyramid scheme, that's just a parallel similarity that Issa noticed. That I thought was interesting, that because of the way that prices have gone up, they have to bring in more sales to be able to cover previous sales, but then they won't be able to cover these sales. Ponzi scheme, not a pyramid scheme. Also probably a legally defined thing, which they do not fit. None of this, all of this is opinion and supposition, and none of it is anything that would be considered defamation. I hope. Okay. There you go. That's the end. Is that the last? Are we going to, should we even talk about Flight 1 anymore? Have we said everything there is to say?
At this point, I feel like it, but I mean, it would be a big story if we get back on it, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Can I spread the word? We have currently.
That's a great point. Yeah,
we have 600 people watching this right now, and there will be a few thousand more who watch it in the replay. Spread the word. Like, there are very few times that I use the sort of bully pulpit of my channel to say, F these guys in particular. And in this case, like, it's not that I have some loathing for Flight 1 or Preston. I don't. It's not personal, but they're taking people's money and they're not giving them product.
I have a loathing for the fact that people have, Alexander has 200 orders for a business he's trying to run. And that money has disappeared.
And we need to protect people in the future. The people who gave them money already are probably screwed. Oh, you know what? I take that back. You could get a Falco X license for your existing flight controller for free. That's a $14 value. You're not screwed. You're screwed. And you're probably not going to get your money back, I would guess.
Also, the more you shame him publicly and the more you bug him, the more likely it is you will get your result back. Another person I saw get their money back shamed him in a crypto group they were in. And that immediately got him the money sent over PayPal.
So keep the pressure on.
Yes.
Everywhere you see Flight 1 or Falco X mentioned in public, point them to this video. This video is going to be on my live stream clips channel in an individual clip. There's a link in the video description to the live stream clips channel, or just link them to the timestamp of this video. If you don't want to personally, because they're going to they're going to come down on you. The rabid fans will. You may not want that. Just spread this video around because no one should be giving them money under any circumstances at this point.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And opinions can't be defamation, Blunty. Okay. All right, let's wrap it up.
So I don't know if that's true, but I think that's true.
It's good enough for me.